In this video, we're going to be comparing the Google Pixel 5 versus the Samsung Galaxy A71 5G. Now, to see the most up-to-date pricing for both of these phones, definitely take a look at the links in the video description. And in addition to that, I've linked to both Google's website and Samsung's website as well, as they tend to offer pretty decent trade-in deals. So if you do have an older Android phone, you could potentially trade it in for either of these two devices and definitely save some money. Now with the Google Pixel 5, we're getting a 6-inch display versus a 6.7-inch display with the A71 5G. So without a doubt, the A71 5G is the larger phone of the two. Now there certainly are some benefits with having this bigger display, especially if you're gonna watch video content here on the phone, or if you're gonna browse the web or really do anything, whether it's social media, reading articles, all that stuff will be better here with the larger display. But on the other hand, with the Pixel 5, we're getting a smaller, more compact form factor, so this phone will be easier to hold, and also it'll be easier to put in your pocket. Now both of these devices have very bright and clear displays. You're gonna get really good colors, and also great viewing angles as well. But there are some differences. With the Pixel 5, we're getting an OLED display, and with the A71 5G, we're getting a Super AMOLED Plus display. So they do use similar technologies, and in general, I think both do look really good. Now with both phones, we're getting 1080p displays. With the Pixel 5, we're getting a PPI of 432 compared to a PPI of 393 with the A71 5G. As far as the aspect ratio goes, with the Pixel 5, we're getting a 19.5:9 aspect ratio compared to a 20:9 aspect ratio with the A71 5G. So the A71 5G will be a little bit more narrow and taller, but then again, 19.5:9 is also pretty narrow and tall. And then finally, with the Google Pixel 5, we're getting an 85.9% screen-to-body ratio compared to an 88.3% screen-to-body ratio with the Galaxy A71 5G. Now, as far as the form factor goes with both of these phones, one of the things that I do like, especially with the Pixel 5, is that we do have pretty much symmetrical bezels all around. And with the A71 5G, the bezels are also pretty small, but it does seem to be slightly thicker on the bottom. But in general, with both of these phones, you are getting very small bezels. And then up top here, we are getting hole punches for the front-facing cameras. Now, the front-facing camera with the Pixel 5 is 8 megapixels. And as you can see, it is situated off to the upper left. And then with the A71 5G, the front-facing camera is situated in the center, and we're getting 32 megapixels for the actual camera. Now, with both phones, we're getting 128 gigabytes of internal storage, but with the Pixel 5, we're getting no microSD card expansion, and with the A71 5G, we do get microSD card expansion. Now with the Pixel 5, we do get wireless charging, and there's no wireless charging with the A71 5G. With the Pixel 5, we do have a fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, so we'll give that a try right now. And that was very quick. We'll give that a try one more time. Very fast, so very impressive there. And then with the A71 5G, the fingerprint sensor is built into the display. So that's very fast as well. We'll do that one more time. So definitely quick there. And then with the Pixel 5, there's no face unlock. And with the A71 5G, we do get face unlock. Now taking a look at the camera modules on the back, with the Pixel 5, we have a dual camera setup. So we have a 12.2 megapixel main camera and a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. And then with the A71 5G, we have a 64 megapixel main camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. Now here's how things look through the viewfinder on both phones with the main camera. In general, expect the Pixel 5's main camera to give you much better results just because it is very well optimized. However, with the A71 5G, the cameras do a good job as well. Then from here, we can switch over to the ultra wide angle cameras in both phones, and we can fit a lot more content into the frame here. However, it does seem like with the A71 5G, the ultra wide camera is a bit wider. Then from here, we can flip around to the front facing cameras on both phones. And you can see that with the A71 5G, things are pretty zoomed in. There is another option to zoom out a little bit, but even then, it seems like the front-facing camera with the Pixel 5 is cropped out quite a bit more. Now, despite the Pixel 5 not having a dedicated depth-sensing camera on the rear, you still are getting full portrait mode here with the phone, and it only uses software to determine the depth. Whereas with the A71 5G, it uses a combination of hardware and software to blur out the background. The only camera feature that the A71 5G has that you can't get with the Pixel 5 is a dedicated macro camera. However, I don't find the macro camera to be too useful. The purpose of the camera is to get really close and get nice, crisp, and clear photos, but you can pretty much do the same thing with the Pixel 5, and then crop in after the fact. Now with the Google Pixel 5, we're getting 8GB of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G processor. And with this variant of the A71 5G, we're getting 6GB of RAM, and we're getting the Samsung Exynos 980 processor. Now I did run a benchmark test with both devices, and I'm definitely very surprised here from the scores. As you can see with the Pixel 5, we actually got lower scores than what we got with the A71 5G. So for example, the single core score with the Pixel 5 is 592 compared to 604 with the A71 5G. Now in a little bit, we'll do a side-by-side speed test comparison, doing some everyday tasks, and hopefully that'll help show the speed difference between these two phones. Now as far as video recording goes with these two devices, with the Pixel 5, we can do 4K at 60 FPS with the rear camera, but the front camera is limited at 1080p at 30 FPS. And with the Galaxy A71 5G, you can do 4K video at 30 FPS with both the rear and front cameras on this phone. Now as far as the battery capacity goes with these two devices, with the Google Pixel 5, we're getting a 4080 mAh internal battery, and it supports up to 18-watt fast charging. And with the A71 5G, we're getting a 4500 mAh internal battery, and it supports 25-watt fast charging. So you can charge the A71 5G a bit faster than the Pixel 5. Now, as far as software goes, with the Pixel 5, we're getting Android 11 with the Pixel experience here. Now, it definitely looks like stock Android, but they have added some proprietary software features that I go over in my tips and tricks video for this phone. And with the A71 5G, we're getting Android 10, at least at the moment. It more than likely will be updated to Android 11 in the future. But with this device, we are getting Samsung's One UI 2.0. So if you are familiar with using Samsung devices in the past, then you're definitely going to have a very familiar experience here. Now, both of these phones offer NFC, but one difference is that with the Pixel 5, we also get IP68 dust and water resistance. So you can actually submerge this phone up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. And with the A71 5G, they don't have an IP rating. But now that we've gone over the major specifications of these two devices, let's take a closer look at the hardware. Now, as far as the build goes of these two phones, with the Pixel 5, the entire side and back panel is made out of metal, whereas with the A71 5G, we have a metal band going around the phone, but then this material on the back is called Glastic. Essentially, it's like a glassy plastic. It doesn't bother me at all, but I would say that the Pixel 5 definitely does have a more premium build out of these two phones. Now taking a look at the left side of both devices, with the Pixel 5 we have the SIM card slot, and with the A71 5G we have nothing. Then on the right side with both devices, we have the volume buttons, and we have the power button. Now I personally prefer having the power button on the bottom, like we have with the A71 5G, instead of having the power button up above with the Pixel 5. But that's just a personal preference. And then taking a look at the top of both devices, with the Pixel 5, we have the noise canceling microphone. And then with the A71 5G, we have the noise canceling microphone and also the slot for the micro SD card and SIM card. And then taking a look at the bottom of both phones, with the Pixel 5, we have the speaker and we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. And with the A71 5G, we have the 3.5mm headphone jack, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, we have the microphone, and we have the speaker. So the A71 5G is the only phone of these two that does have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So definitely an important thing that you might want to keep in mind. And then taking a look at the back sides of both phones, you can see they both do have that kind of squared rectangular camera module. And then with the Pixel 5, we do have the fingerprint sensor on the back. Then with the A71 5G, we don't really have anything else on the back besides that camera module. Let's now do a speed test comparison between these two phones. We're gonna start by pulling up the camera apps on both. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it was about a tie with both devices. Next, let's pull up Google Chrome. So 1, 2, 3, go. And it also looks to be about a tie with both phones as well. Let's now go over to yahoo.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like it was a little bit faster here with the Pixel 5. Let's now go to engadget.com on both phones. 1, 2, 3, go. And again, almost a tie. It looks like the ad did pull up a little bit faster on the Pixel 5. And the video started playing sooner as well. But pretty close here, really. Scrolling is smooth on both phones. It does seem like the Pixel is a little bit smoother, especially with that 90 Hz. It definitely feels smoother as well. But definitely with both phones, things do run nice and smoothly. So I don't really have any issues there, that's for sure. Let's now go to, actually, let's go to this one. This looks interesting. 1, 2, 3, go. And this time around, it looks like, yeah, the Pixel 5 was faster. Looks like at first the A71 5G was faster, but then the Pixel 5 did load things slightly quicker. But really, from this demonstration here, both phones are extremely close when it comes to speed. So even though the Galaxy A71 5G does have higher benchmark scores compared to the Pixel 5, it doesn't seem like it's really too much faster, if faster at all. So in conclusion, which of these two devices is the better choice of the two? Now, if you currently have a Samsung phone and you want to have a familiar experience with your upgrade, I would say the A71 5G is certainly a pretty good route to go. I don't think you're gonna get this phone and really have any regrets. It gives you all the features that you'd want and need, and has a really nice practical design as well. And with the Pixel 5, really the biggest benefits with this phone are going to be that you're getting that 90 hertz display, so things are a bit smoother when you're using the phone. And then also with the Pixel 5, you are getting a little bit more RAM, which is helpful. You're getting stock Android directly from Google, which is great. So this phone will definitely be quicker when it comes to receiving software updates. You're also getting wireless charging, which you don't get with the A71 5G. And Pixel phones have a great reputation when it comes to camera quality. So if you are someone that really wants some of the best cameras out there on a mobile device, then the Pixel 5 likely would be the better choice for you. But it's not like the A71 5G has bad cameras, that's for sure. And then with the A71 5G, I would say the biggest benefits with this phone are the larger display, having a micro SD card slot, which I think is helpful for many people out there, and getting a headphone jack on the bottom. But I hope you enjoyed this comparison between these two phones. Let me know what you think about these two devices. But this is the Google Pixel 5 versus the Samsung Galaxy A71 5G. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.